PNR Networks is a member of Patreon. Show your love for our shows by joining our ongoing fundraising campaign and get some fantastic perks in return. Check it out and become a Patreon sponsor. You can sign up at patreon.com, patreon.com/PNR Networks. And thanks for your support.
She just goes a little mad sometimes.
Do you ever feel like you're normal and the rest of the world has lost its collective mind?
Put your helmet on. We'll be reaching speeds of 3.
Do you find people saying this to you a lot?
Are you totally deranged?
Are you looking for a looking glass to pass through?
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Or looking for a rabbit hole to fall down?
Who could think of a better punishment, really? Everything's the same here, it's just a little worse.
Guess what?
Life's a bitch. Now so am I.
You found it. Welcome to Platinum Rose's Garden.
Well, hello, my darlings. This is Platinum Rose Lady welcoming you to Platinum Rose's Garden on Saturday, November 5th, 2017. Day late and $1 short and out of my friggin' mind. Sorry. Sorry I was late yesterday. Had a couple of things, come up. So sorry, but here I am today. I hope everybody had a good week. My week was pretty okay. Halloween has come and gone. Lay sigh. I am depressed. I am bereft. I am emotionally beaten. I am overdramatic. I know. I am a big fat drama queen. Actually, fuck that. I decided a long time ago that drama queen is so 20th century. I crowned myself a drama empress a long time ago. Also, that was my same feeling about being referred to as a cougar. I was like, fuck that. I'm a saber-toothed tiger, bitches, and don't you ever forget it. A lot of people, it's really weird, a lot of people getting back to Halloween that I talked to, I was like, do you get a lot of kids trick-or-treating at your house? And a lot of people were like, no. And I'm just like, where are all the kids? Doesn't anybody go out trick-or-treating anymore? It's just, we were late coming home, so we didn't, we couldn't do the whole thing. And we're in an apartment building anyway, so it's not really, conducive to the whole trick-or-treating deal. But I was just like, a lot of people at work were like, we didn't get any kids, or we got like 10 kids. Some people didn't get any kids at all show up at their house. I'm like, damn. I was just like, oh, that's so sad. I was like, that is such an important part of childhood, is trick-or-treating, or at least it was, back when I was a child, a long time ago. We will not go into how long ago. Thank you. All you people out there smirking right now, shut up. But here we are in November. Remember the 5th of November, etc., 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 which means a lot more to you Brits out there. If there's any Brits listening, which I hope there are. But it's November, which is, it's a special time. It's, Thanksgiving month, and, this is my time of the year. I'm a fall winter person. I am not a spring summer person, because I don't sweat. I don't deal well with sweating, and I don't deal well with bugs, and I don't deal well with humidity. And that's pretty much all there is in New England in the spring and summer: bugs, sweat, and humidity. It's, not my deal, not my thing. So, now we need to talk about something kind of serious here. I try to be fun on my show. I try to be, your wacky kooky friend that's always out there, being crazy and fun, and hopefully bringing you guys some laughs and stuff like that. But every once in a while something happens that I really feel like I need to discuss. And I really don't like having to be the person that is like, don't do this, don't do that, quit acting like an asshole, blah, 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 when it comes to the supernatural fandom. Because I shouldn't have to tell people, don't act like an asshole. You're, for the most part, all adults. I mean, some of you might be, teenagers or, almost legal age, but I'm assuming most of you are around there. And I really shouldn't have to say, this is how you should act as a decent human being. You've all got parents, you've all got authority figures in your own life, and goodness knows I wouldn't trust me to keep a plant alive, much less actually, be somebody's, be somebody's Jedi master and have you all out there being Padawans listening to every word that comes from my mouth as a pearl of wisdom dropping from between my plump little red lips. But this needs to get said. There was an incident last week at the most recent Supernatural convention. Actually, it wasn't really an incident. It became an incident because some people are in such a motherfucking hurry to get offended. Somebody asked a question at Jared and Jensen's Q&A. The question that was asked was, what is your favorite pickup line, or something to that effect. Now, why you would ask that question to two people that are already married and have been married for a while, I'm not going to touch that. Whatever. The guys decided to respond by being Jared and Jensen, by being quick-witted, funny people. Jared picked up a towel and said, does this rag smell like chloroform to you? And Jensen made a remark, no, Mr. Cosby. This got blown the fuck out of proportion, and people have accused them of supporting rape culture and making fun of rape victims and being insensitive and blah, 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 fucking blah. Okay, I'm sorry. Have you people met Jared Padalecki and Jensen Ackles? These are two people that have gone out of their way to be nothing but supportive and kind to every fan they've ever met. Not only that, these are just damn good men. I have heard nothing but wonderful stories about both of them. And for people to all of a sudden be like, several news organizations picked up this story and ran with it, and it was completely disgusting and hateful. And my first reaction when hearing about all of this shit starting could be traced back to the fact that, I'm Irish. We can't help it. We're a warrior people. We're a warrior breed. It's in our blood. My first reaction is to pick up the proverbial sword, scream Sparta and charge. That's my first thing. That's the first thing that goes through my head. Like I said, Irish, can't help it. But, really, this is ridiculous. It was a joke. It was a joke. Not making fun of rape victims. It was not making fun of, it wasn't, this whole rape culture thing that people keep talking about. It was guys making a dumb remark. And for people to take this and all of a sudden try and tear down two of the kindest, most decent people I have ever had be part of my, get in my universe. Do you know what I mean? Be people whose opinions I pay attention to, who have done so much for charity, who have done so much to help people around them, people who have needed help when there's been a natural disaster or any other problem like that. People who have worked so hard to help their fans. For people to turn on them like that. Now, normally I know some people out there who listen to my show are now holding on to their chairs or getting the pets and small children out of the room because you're waiting for the 10-minute, 4-letter word tirade, involving every single version of fuck you that I can come up with. And all sorts of other really bad, incendiary, blow the roof off language. But you know what? Shocker, I'm not going to do that. All I'm going to say to all those people, shame on you. Shame on you. Jared and Jensen are not supporters of rape culture and all of this other crap that people are accusing them of. Shame on you. And let it go. Okay. And if that pissed anybody off, and if you're now pissed off at me, like it's not the first time I've pissed people off, whatever. I'm just sick of it. It's insane the way that they're getting maligned, but hopefully it will all just quit, because for the most part, most people online have said, you are obviously not familiar with the people that Jared and Jensen are. So there's that. Okay. Gotta find my center. Give me a sec. Changing gears entirely because I want now to talk about something fun and good. As I mentioned last week, I am a person that is constantly bouncing around the internet and finding new and fun ways to, waste my time. No. Finding authors and things that I like. And when I find something fun and when I find something that I find funny, I definitely want to share it with you guys because if I enjoy it, you might enjoy it too. And this week's story of the week comes from an author on fanfiction.net. Their fanfiction.net name is Paddy and Mooney, and that's all one word. Capital PADYAND, capital MOONY. Paddy and Mooney have written 45 fics talking about all different TV shows and movies and such. They have written stories for the Harry Potter universe, the Charmed universe, the White Collar universe, the Big Bang Theory universe, and the Castle universe. So awesome to them. Yayness. Very cool. The story that I want to bring up that I read and just completely laughed my flippin' head off over is a Harry Potter universe story called Zumba. You heard me right. And the synopsis that they wrote down for fanfiction.net goes thusly. What if the trio had been smarter about protecting the DA and Umbridge had been a bit dumber? Hilarity ensues. Now, those of you who don't know Harry Potter terms, and I can't believe there's any of you out there within the sound of my voice, but if there are, I shall be kind and translate. The trio are the golden trio of Harry, Hermione, and Ron from the Harry Potter verse. DA means Dumbledore's army, and Umbridge is Dolores Umbridge. Oh, sorry, I just threw up in my mouth a little bit. Her name just has that effect on me. And I will be honest, when this person wrote at the end of their synopsis, hilarity ensues, they're not kidding. This story is a freaking scream. What they write about in this story, if you picture it in your head, you will start giggling. You will not be able to stop giggling. And it is just a friggin' riot. So please check out Zumba over at fanfiction.net under the author Paddy and Mooney. And if you do check out the story, please leave them a review because authors love reviews. And I hope you give them a try and definitely check them out because the story is just a frickin' panic. So, let's get to what you guys all came for, this week's Supernatural episode recap.
Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest.
Season 13, Episode 4 of Supernatural, The Big Empty. Then is dealing with what Sam and Dean do. they hunt monsters. They kill monsters. They fight the things that are out there that go bump in the night that are very real that most human beings don't know exist. The then is also dealing with the loss that they've suffered, the most recent losses they've suffered, the death of Castiel, the fact that their mother has been dragged into another dimension with Lucifer, the loss of Jack's mother, Kelly, and Dean blaming Jack for everything that's happened, including Castiel's death. And now we are at Now. And Now is in Madison, Wisconsin. We see a man coming into his house, and he is greeted by a woman, and he's very shocked to see her, in fact, mentioning the fact that she's dead. She's supposed to be dead. The woman is very calm and smiling and calls him by a pet name, so he obviously, believes it to be her. When she goes to embrace him, she stabs him in the stomach and kills him, and the last thing he sees is her walking out of his house, and we get the opening credits, and the episode begins. We cut to the Bat Cave in Lebanon, Kansas. Sam coming in from what looks like a supply run, and Dean is on the laptop finding a case for them. The case being a man being murdered in Madison, Wisconsin. The police are looking at it as a home invasion, but the next door neighbor swears up and down that she saw the man's wife leaving the house. The man's wife who has been dead for 6 months. Sam's in agreement that it sounds like it's a case, and he wants them to go check it out. And by them, Sam means himself and Dean and Jack. Dean is completely not down with this idea whatso friggin' ever. And Dean again voices his opinion that Sam holding on to the idea that's in this other dimension, Mary's still alive, is a complete pipe dream. Dean is convinced that, Lucifer killed Mary in that other dimension. And Dean is also convinced that Jack, being Lucifer's son, is evil or destined to be evil. And Dean continues to be a jerk about it. Now, I went into this last week. I'm not doing it again. So all you Dean divas, don't start with me. We cut to Sam going to Jack's room. Jack's sitting on the bed watching, what we find out is a cartoon. He's watching, on the laptop, he's watching Star Wars, The Clone Wars. Which I was like, okay, you just went up 1,000,000 points in my opinion, because Clone Wars was awesome. Jack commenting that he likes Ahsoka. Yay. And that he doesn't like Anakin. Sam making a remark along the lines of, considering that, we all know what happens to Anakin and how he becomes Darth Vader later on. Although I really wish I wish we had Ahsoka in the movies. I do. I'm sorry. I'm a Star Wars nerd. I can't help it. Sam asks Jack if he wants to go on this case with them, and at first Jack's not really having it. He doesn't really want to go, and it's simply because he knows that Dean hates him. He knows all the things that Dean had said to Sam. And Sam is honest with Jack. He tells, and Jack's actually honest with him first, that he knows what Dean said about him. And Sam, doesn't try and sugarcoat the truth or anything. He tells him that, he does want Jack to use his powers to help Mary, once he gets his powers to a point where he feels like he can use them. But he does really care about Jack. He really does. And you can tell he's not lying. He does really care about this kid. He wants this kid to feel safe and comfortable and be happy. you know, as happy as he can be. I really believe that about Sam. I do. And I know some people just went, well, yeah, fuck, of course you do, because you're a fucking Samazon. Yeah, I am. So what? When Sam says to him, let's go be the good guys, Jack gets this smile on his face that is just so honest and pure, and it's like, okay, I have to hug you right now, like right this second right now. You know, it's ridiculous. It is completely frigging insane how Jack has found that one spark of maternal feelings I had buried somewhere deep within my heart and has made it grow and blossom, and every week it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. It's ridiculous. We see them they drive to Wisconsin, and they're in the car still talking to Jack and explaining to Jack about a ghost, what a ghost is. I mean, it's kind of a very quick definition, but they explain it to him in a way that Jack understands. And they go to talk to the witness. Sam tells Jack to go check out the house. Dean orders Jack to stay in the car. Once again, going back to Dean being a dick. The brothers talk with the witness, but it doesn't sound like it was a ghost. And we as the audience are pretty sure it wasn't a ghost. There was no flickering of lights. There was no cold spots, anything like that. And the witness thinks she saw the street lights flicker, but she doesn't seem very sure. But it just doesn't sound like it's a ghost. The brothers turn around and the car doors open and there's no Jack, and the house door to the crime scene is open. They go in the house. Jack's standing there looking down at the bloodstain on the floor. And Dean is still being a prick. They take out the EMF meter. There's no readings on the meter. So it seems like what they're dealing with isn't a ghost, but a revenant. So they head to the cemetery that night, and Dean has Jack do the digging to dig up the grave. Sam and Dean kind of talk for a few minutes, with Sam bringing up that Dean's starting to sound like their father. And when Dean asks if that's a bad thing, I'm screaming at the TV, yes, fuck yes, it's a bad thing. What the fuck is wrong with you? You know, it's, ugh. I mean, I understand why Dean's acting this way. I really do. But it's bringing me back to that whole wanting to grab you by your muscular shoulders and just fucking shake you kind of thing. You know, it's like, oh, men. Can't live with them. Can't leave them by the side of the road when you're done with them. That is not a life lesson, by the way. Just, that's called CYA, children. They get to the grave, you know, dig through. Jack's a good digger. He did, for someone who's never dug out a grave before, he does a pretty damn good job. They get the casket open, and there's the body, of the man's wife, and it's just a body. I mean, there's nothing, you know, there's nothing about it that would say there's anything weird here. And so, but just to be safe, they salt the body and burn it. And we cut to Castiel, who we knew from last week is in this place, wherever he is, that he woke up hearing Jack's voice in this place, this just completely dark place. There's nothing. There's no ceiling. There's no wall. There's no floor. At least, well, there's a floor, but it's black. And there's nothing. There's just Cass. And he's walking through this place, calling out hello. And it's by the last hello, there's real panic? Or, I'm gonna go with panic in his voice, and it's really fucking disturbing, because if someone like Cass is panicked, that's not good. That's very bad. we see, when we come back from a commercial, we have a woman who is driving and pulls over the side of the road. She is on the phone with some kind of like OnStar, vehicle help thing that, when something bad happens with your car, you call them and you're all like, I'm out of gas, or I have a flat tire, or whatever, and they're like, well, we'll send somebody to you, that kind of a deal. So she's on the phone with them because she has a flat tire, and all of a sudden she realizes there's somebody else in the car, and she turns, and in the back seat is a little boy. And he just kind of looks at her and smile, he looks very sweet, and she is still on the phone and calls him by the name Scotty and says how happy she is to see him, and all of a sudden the little boy gets this evil look on his face and lunges at her, and she screams, and we see blood splashing about in the inside of the car. When the guys show up the next day in their Fed suits trying to figure out what happened, which the police are blaming on an animal attack, I think, something like that, the phone was still on. She still had the phone in her hand when she was attacked, and the person on the other end of the phone heard her call the name Scotty. And it turns out that the Scotty that was in her life was her son Scotty, who had died back in 1996 when he drowned. So obviously there is something really fucking weird going on here that doesn't have anything to do with ghosts or revenants. But still, people are winding up dead. It turns out that, we cut back to this place, wherever Cass is, and as he's walking, one of the places where he walked, there's something. Sorry, that's my William Shatner impression. There's something on the wing of the plane. Twilight Zone. Ask your parents. This creature, for lack of a better term, begins to form from this empty black material, and that obviously can't be a good thing. Sam and Dean do a little more checking, and what they find out is both of the people that were killed, the man at the beginning of the episode and the lady in the car, both kept what are called grief journals. And that these journals were helping them get over personal losses, and that they were both seeing the same grief counselor. While they're finding this out, Dean has sent Jack to the other side of the street from where the Winchesters are standing to get food. He has them standing in line at a hot dog stand to get them something to eat. Which Sam, chastises Dean for, saying that he's not their intern, that Sam had told Dean to keep an eye on him. To which Dean's response is, I can see him, he keeps staring at me. Gee, that couldn't be because every time you look at him with undisguised loathing, could it, Dean? I mean, crying out loud, there's that whole grab you by the shoulders and shake you thing again. The doctor, as it turns out, is a grief counselor named Dr. Mia Valens. And the brothers and Jack go to her office, and they obviously can't go in doing the whole we're federal agents bit, because the doctor's going to claim doctor-patient confidentiality and clam up, because that's what doctors do. So they decide instead they're going to go undercover and, go undercover as patients. They say that they're all three brothers and that they need to speak to the doctor about the recent loss of their mother. Which, bending the truth slightly, but not totally, is, Sam and Dean's mother is gone, and Jack's mother is dead, but, it is what it is, and you do what you do, when you're on an undercover mission. Can I just bring up the last time you guys did a whole let's go undercover as patients thing? Yeah, it didn't work out real well back in Sam Interrupted. Y'all remember that? Anyway. So that, like I said, they try to play off to the doctor that they're brothers and they need help. And Dean is, graduated from being a jerk to being a prick, and now Dean is being a straight-on fuckhead. The way that he talks about Sam and the way Sam is dealing with the loss of their mother, saying that he won't admit that their mother is dead, and because if he admits that she's dead, he has to deal with it, and he can't handle dealing with it. And I'm just sitting there like, are you really? I'm just like, oh my gosh, are you kidding? And Sam finally just can't take it anymore. And when he says, he snaps back at Dean that this is so easy for him, and Dean says that it's not easy, but Sam, that floodgate's been open, and Sam's like, but at least you had a relationship with Mom. I mean, who would she always call? Who did she look to for anything? You had something with her I never had, and now I'm just supposed to accept that I will never have it? And Sam gets up and storms out, which I don't fucking blame him for. And I just wanted to, take him to my breast and hug him and tell him it's going to be all right and run my hand through his hair and smack Dean in the face. You don't fucking hurt my Sam. I don't care if you're his brother. Sorry. Sam goes out in the hall to compose himself and probably to keep from smacking Dean in the face, gets a drink of water, but he notices another area where it's roped off, and it says, respect our privacy, blah, 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 blah. Sam climbs over the gate, the little rope thing, which I was kind of like, how did you do that and not trip? Damn. I'm sorry, that impressed me. I mean, this show could have stunts out the lang-lang, but watching Jared Padalecki do that and not trip on that thing, I was like, golf clap. That was amazing. Sam climbs up the stairs and notices blood on the stair guard, those things that are on the stairs, not the railing, but those things that, on the side of the stairs, those things, there's blood there. He goes into a bathroom upstairs, and there's blood on the shower curtain, and he peels back the shower curtain and isn't really pleased with what he finds in the bathtub, to which I'm like, well, what's in the bathtub, man? Show us. And he takes a pen, I think, and kind of pokes into it, and you hear this kind of squidgy noise, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck showing what's in the bathtub. I'm good. No, it's okay. But he pulls up a piece of skin, and it's really squishy and horrible. And we're obviously dealing with a shapeshifter. Downstairs, Dean and Jack are still with the doctor, and it's very obvious to the doctor that, she doesn't come out and say, Dean, you're being abusive, but, you just emotionally beat the crap out of your brother, and Jack is obviously terrified of you. But before anything can get said, Sam breaks the door in with a gun drawn, saying that she's a shapeshifter, and she doesn't deny it. She is a shapeshifter. She is a shapeshifter that's actually using her shapeshifting powers in a good way. That's part of her grief process. That's part of her way of helping people deal with the loss of their loved ones. She does meet with them in a therapy way and talks with them and gets them to work out stuff. But part of her therapy is that she uses her power to shift into the person that the patient has lost, so they get to say that last goodbye. They get to give the person that last hug, that last moment of closure. And I'm sitting there like, holy shit, that's the sweetest fucking thing I've ever heard. And she also tells them that she has an alibi for the night of the first murder and for them to check it out. Castiel, meanwhile, in this, wherever he is greeted by himself. It's a being wearing his face, or rather the face of Jimmy Novak, his vessel. And the other being, which I'm just going to refer to as other for right now, speaks to him, and it's very obvious it's not Cass, because it's this very condescending voiced being, and he finds out where he is, and what he's talking to. What he's talking to is a creature that first asks him a question. It asks him, before there was God, before there was the darkness, before there was anything, what was there? And Castiel's response is nothing. And that's where he is. He's in that place that Billy the Reaper said that the Winchesters were going to be thrown into when they died. This place called the Empty. This place that is between worlds. And this creature tells Cass that this is the place where angels and demons show up when they die. And the being tells Cass that the angels and demons that come here, they sleep. This is where they come and they don't wake up. They sleep in endless, peaceful sleep. And this being was sleeping as well. And it wants to know why Cass is awake. Because it tells Cass that nothing wakes up in this place, ever. And that when Cass woke up, that woke up this being, and it doesn't like being awake. Cass also asks why this thing is wearing his face, and it explains that it's wearing his form because if it showed the creature, the being, this entity shows its real face to Cass, Castiel will go insane, claw his eyes out, all this stuff like that. And I'm sitting there going, oh, fucking no. No, it's not one of them. No, it can't be one of them. Please, in the name of all that's decent and holy and good, not them. I'll get to who them is at the end of my dissertation about the episode. Yes, I'm going to make you wait. So anyway, back on Earth, they find out more from the doctor, Dr. Valens. They find out that the brothers find out her alibi is good. You know, she was where she says she was the night of the first murder, but she thinks she knows who is doing this. And who is doing this is a shapeshifter named Buddy that she used to be partners with, from the sound of it, on a physical, emotional level and on a monstrous level. Buddy is a real sadist of a shapeshifter. His whole game is the idea of taking somebody's life away from them, ruining their lives before actually ending their lives. That's something that he enjoys doing. And it sounds like for a while she was with him, whether willingly or not, I don't know. And we don't really know if she helped him or took part in his sick games, but we know she got away from him and she's trying to do the right thing now and trying to help these people. She thinks that the murders are being caused by Buddy trying to get back at her because she left him and, you know, went out and tried to do the right thing and do good things. So Dean decides he's going to go check on, so the obvious thing they have to do is find out who in the doctor's circle is Buddy disguised as? He might be a patient. He might be someone that works for the doctor. He might be someone that's, a delivery person, something like that. Dean decides he's going to go check out the doctor's assistant, a young man named Tom, and Jack says he's going to go with Dean. And he does, although Dean is terribly reluctant about the idea. Dean finds out that Tom is actually who he seems like he is. He is, this guy that owns a bunch of cats and is a, decent person. Sam finds this out from him while Sam is sitting in the doctor's office checking the video feed that is outside the doctor's home, the camera trained on the door to let people know when they're coming and stuff like that. And he and the doctor talk about what she is and what she's doing and also about what Sam's feeling. And Sam's checking the video because, as all good Supernatural fans know, when a shapeshifter's eyes are exposed to direct light, like from a headlight or something like that, or if they're caught on video, their eyes go silver. Sam's looking at the tape for anyone who has silver eyes. And it turns out that somebody does, and they are the eyes of a patient named John. As it turns out, John was the man that was leaving the doctor's office when Sam, Dean, and Jack showed up, a man that Jack had actually said hi to. We cut back to the empty, and Castiel wanting this other being, this cosmic entity, to send him back to Earth, but the other being won't do it. He just wants Castiel to give up. And when Castiel says that he has to go back because Sam and Dean need him, the other being is basically like, you don't need to go back there. Look at what you've already been through back there, kind of thing, and puts his hand on Cass's head and forces Castiel to relive, some of the worst, most painful things Cass has gone through. All the times he's been hurt, all the times that he's been killed, and, all the painful things that have happened to Cass in the past. Back on Earth, the doctor tells Dean that Sam went to go find John. Sam and Jack come back to the doctor's office, and the doctor tells Dean that Sam went to go to John's house to confront John, the shifter. And Jack winds up talking with the doctor alone and talking about his feelings and talking about his mother and how she died, and, talking about the way he feels and how he didn't get a chance to meet her and talk with her. He just has this video on a laptop and how he wishes he could have spoken to her. And the doctor asks Jack to shut his eyes, and when he opens his eyes, there's his mom. Dr. Valens has shifted so that she looks like Kelly Klein. Jack and Kelly, we're going to say Kelly for right now, have this really beautiful talk and Jack and hugs, because hugs are awesome. Jack really spills his heart to his mother and talking about the fact that he's hurt people and how he knows he should feel bad about hurting people, but that he really doesn't feel anything, and that he's afraid that he might be a monster. And Kelly tells him that it doesn't matter what he is, it matters what he does, and tells him, and even monsters can do good in this world. Jack asks her, do you really believe that? And her response is that she has to. And It's true. I believe that. I believe that in my heart of hearts. I mean, you might be something that the rest of the world says is bad because you're different. That doesn't mean you're bad. That just means you're different. It's what you do with those gifts that matter, whatever your gift is. Now, obviously, here in the real world, unfortunately, there aren't people like Magneto or the X-Men or stuff like that. But, in our world, it's like you might come from a family where everything's not been great, but that doesn't mean you have to go down that path. Just because your parents, made bad choices, that doesn't mean you have to make those bad choices too. I guess that's the way to look at it in the real world. It's a truly beautiful, beautiful scene. We cut to outside the private part of the doctor's office, and Dean gets a call from Sam, who tells him that he's at John's house, the patient named John, and that John is dead. Sam hangs up and Dean hangs up, and Dean remarks that was easy, and looks down at Dean's unconscious body. And we realize, oh fuck, that's the shifter, who is now disguised as Dean. Fuck, fuckity, fuck. Dean, the shifter Dean, goes into the doctor's office, grabs a poker, slugs Jack and knocks him out, and then pulls off his face in a scene that I was like, okay, cut away, jump cut, something, holy fuck, please, oh my gosh. And we see that it's Buddy, and the doctor is rightfully fucking horrified. Back in the empty, the other keeps trying to get Castiel to give up, just submit, go to sleep, the whole thing. But Castiel won't. He won't give up. He won't go to sleep. He won't surrender. And he tells this entity he is going to stay awake forever, for as long as it takes before this entity will send him back to Earth, to where he needs to be, to the people he needs to be with, which are the Winchesters and Jack. It kind of reminded me of that scene toward the end of Doctor Strange, when Doctor Strange and Dormammu have that whole face-off thing that turned into the Groundhog Day from hell. Not that, it was kind of like that, but kind of not, because, I love Cass, don't get me wrong, but Doctor Strange is a snappier dresser, so, sorry. And I have a thing about capes. I have lots of things, in case you hadn't noticed. But it's an awesome, awesome scene. Buddy handcuffs Dean to the fireplace in the doctor's office, and he orders the doctor to shoot Dean and Jack, or he's going to shoot her. But before any of that can happen, the video outside shows that Sam has pulled up and is coming up the doorway up into the building. When Sam comes in, the shifter Buddy uses Dean's voice to lure Sam into the room, where he prepares to shoot Sam just as Sam opens the door. Now, before this happened, Dean was trying to get Jack to use his powers to break the cuffs, and Jack says that he can't. You can tell he's trying, but he can't. The thing is, when Buddy goes to shoot Sam and actually does fire the gun, Jack's eyes turn that gold color, and he just radiates this wave of power that knocks the bullet off the trajectory and knocks Buddy off of his feet long enough for Sam to shoot Buddy with a silver bullet, because we all know silver and shifters are not besties, and Buddy winds up dead, which is obviously a good thing because Buddy was terrible. We cut to, then we have a cut, we come back. Dr. Valens says that she will take care of Buddy's corpse. Not sure what that's going to involve, but she says she will. I don't know if the doctor is going to stop doing what she's doing as a grief counselor. I hope she doesn't, because she's obviously good at her job and she's obviously making a difference, which is, you know, I mean, there's nothing more you can do in life but make a difference. We cut back to the Batcave in Kansas, and Dean and Jack have a kind of moment. Jack looks like he's about to run when Dean actually tells him, as he's getting a beer, he tells him that he did good. And Jack, I mean, if Jack had a tail, I think he'd be wagging, because I think he was just so pleased to hear that. I was pleased to hear that. Dean brings the bottle of beer to Sam and apologizes to Sam for his recent behavior and the way he's been acting, and also apologizes to Sam about Jack. He doesn't come flat out and say that maybe Jack could actually be a good person, or maybe Jack already is a good person. But I think Dean has got to admit to himself that Jack at least cares about Sam and Dean and doesn't want to see them get hurt. And the problem is the seeds of doubt are there in Sam about Mary. When Sam brings up, what if you're right about Mom? You know, he says, like, what if she is dead and I'm just in denial? Dean tells him not to say that. And Sam's a little surprised. He's kind of, you know, he's like, you've been wanting me to say that since it happened. And Dean tells him not to say it. He says, I need you to keep the faith for both of us. Because right now I don't believe in a damn thing. And we cut to a field, and we see Castiel lying face down in this field. And he gets up and looks around and realizes he's back on Earth. And this really beautiful smile touches his face as he turns his head up and just drinks in the bright sun. And the episode ends. I am giving The Big Empty 5 bouquets out of 5. I thought this episode kicked ass. It was a terrific episode. Absolutely loved it. The lady that played Dr. Valens, I'm going to mess up your name, ma'am, and I'm terribly sorry. Rukia Bernard, I hope I was close to right. She was just really wonderful, beautiful, sympathetic portrayal. I absolutely loved her, and I'll be perfectly honest, I hope we see Mia again, because she was really a genuinely good being, I really thought. And Niall Matter, I hope that's right, I'm not sure, who was the gentleman that played Buddy. Oh my gosh, I never want to meet you in a dark alley. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, that sounds so terrible. I'm sure you're a lovely person, sir, and kind to small animals and good to your mother and stuff like that, but good grief, you scared the living piss out of me. Which was your job, so yay you. And I have to, obviously, you know, Jared and Jensen knocked it out of the park again. That one scene where Sam just spills his guts in the doctor's office about the way he feels about losing Mary, that just killed me dead. Alexander Calvert is the young gentleman that plays Jack. And if I haven't mentioned it before, Alexander, I think you're amazing. I do. I mean, besides the fact that you're just so gosh darn cute, you're a fantastic actor. You bring so much to the table, and I adore your work as Jack. You make me really care about this character so much, so very much. Also, big fat kudos to Misha Collins for his portrayal of Castiel and Castiel's determination to get out of the empty, and his portrayal of the other, this cosmic entity being. I noticed some people bitching about the voice that he used for this other character. I was like, I liked it. I thought it fit. I thought it fit the otherworldliness and the not humanity of this character. What I was talking about when this character, this cosmic entity, which, described what would happen if Cass saw its real visage and all that stuff. When I said not them, please don't let it be them, and I really, really meant it. The them I was talking about were the great old ones. Now, for those of you who don't know what that means, the great old ones are mentioned in the writings of horror writer H.P. Lovecraft. The great old ones are the beings that were before there was anything. And I'm not bringing up any of their names because I'm not chancing it. That's some scary shit. And I don't, I'm a horror movie fan and raised on that stuff. Even Lovecraft stuff creeps me out and I can't deal. So, but I was like, oh crap, we're not actually gonna go there, are we? No, we're gonna go there. I was completely like, oh fuck at that. I was like, it was scary and awesome. And I feel like by the end of this episode, we're getting our Dean back. I realized I was starting to like Dean again because, for all the fact that we love Sam and Dean as characters, and we love them because they're just fucking sexy, and I would hit that in a second, they're people, and they're flawed, and they're not perfect. And Dean was hurting and angry and lashing out, and maybe it's getting a little better. And I think it is. The fact that he apologized to Sam for the way he felt, the fact that he was able to praise Jack. I was like, okay, that's a step. It's a baby step, but it's a step, and steps are good. Steps are good things. So, next week's episode of Supernatural, I am hopefully not going to fuck this up, but I'm going to give it my best. Advanced Thanatology, which is an episode dealing with the brothers being brothers again, just going off and fighting a ghost, the ghost of a doctor who did some things that probably were not AMA approved. And we know that Castiel is free, and he's going to be, and we also know that Sam and Dean are going to be getting some unlikely help in next week's episode from a character we haven't seen for a bit. And as to who it is, it's been given away, but I'm not going to give it away, so you'll have to just watch next week. So there. And we know that Cass is going to be making his way back to the Winchesters and Jack. So that should be interesting, because I'm assuming that Cass is expecting to find a little baby. He's going to be kind of surprised when he sees how quickly Jack has grown up. So Advanced Thanatology next week on Supernatural. I hope you guys will check it out. I know I'm excited for it. I hope you will be too. Oh boy, that's a lot of yakety blah blah, isn't it, folks? Sorry, but I wanted to give you guys a really thorough episode recap, and I hope I did a good job, and I hope you liked it. And if you did, or if you have anything you'd like to bring up about Supernatural, about the show, about anything you want to bring up, you got a new plant, your dog had puppies, your cat had kittens, you tried a new recipe, you got your driver's license, whatever, just bring it up to me. If you want to do that, you can send me an email at platinumrosel@yahoo.com, and you can put PRG in the header, and I will know that you want me to read it on the air, and I will be happy to do that. Or if you, like I said, if you just want to talk to me about any old thing, just use that email and give me a shout. I'm hoping that you will also do some other stuff for me. When it comes to my show, I'm hoping you will subscribe to my show, on on all of the forms of media that it's on out there. Don't ask me what those are, because that's computer shit, and that's my husband's job. I'm just the cute one. And I hope you like my show. Like it on Facebook, or like it on Twitter, or like it on the other stuff that it's on that I don't know what that is. And I hope you will share my stuff as well, because sharing is caring. We all learned that at school. Yes, I actually did go to school. No, they didn't throw me out. I hope you will share my stuff with other people who are Supernatural fans, or just like hearing somebody ramble on and be silly. Just let people know that I'm out there. Give them my web address and stuff like that, and just, spread the madness around, just spread the insanity. And I hope that you will also check out the other shows that I am involved with and the other stuff I'm involved with online. You can look for me up over on Twitter at PlatinumRoseL@twitter.com. I post there a lot, poetry, microfiction, and any other shit that happens to be going through my head. There will be some hashtags up there pretty soon, a very important hashtag that you will be finding out about. And also there are the other shows, like I mentioned, that I am involved with my dear, sweet, long-suffering husband, TC, who has to somehow wave his magic wand and make all this rambly shit that I do actually come out semi-coherent, that I don't sound like I've just, taken a whole bunch of illicit drugs, because drugs are bad, okay? We have our movie podcast, Subject Cinema, which we're very excited about. We've been doing this for over a decade. We have movie news and reviews. This past week, our newest show is up, kicking off the month of November. Punt. See, kicking with the football thing that I did there. This is why I get paid the big bucks. Oh, no, wait, I'm doing this for free. Well, that explains it. You get what you pay for. This month, we are having a special month of shows where, since it's Thanksgiving month and, everybody's all excited about Thanksgiving coming up, we're doing shows about food and film. Movies that are about cooking or have a big cooking scene or things like that. This past week, we were looking at Julie and Julia, the terrific movie, Julie and Julia. Also in our Subject Cinema this week is our review of Thor Ragnarok, which we both went to see, and you'll get to hear that if you check out our podcast, which I hope you will. There is also Cavebabble, which is part of our little demented family of shows. Eric and Valerie and their kids and grandkids and all kinds of fun things they do. They're super fun people, and they have a lot of great stuff on their show. Comic Grotto is also part of our family with Aunt Bee and Pee-wee. Right now they are not doing new shows, but they have some of their old material up, and hopefully you'll go check them out if you haven't done that yet. Give them a listen, because they're terrific guys, and they do a really good job, and they work super hard. Also, just real fast, I would like to bring up, I mentioned a hashtag we're going to be doing. It's for a show called Glove and Boots. Glove and Boots is a website on, they have a YouTube channel, and they are funny as fuck. Unfortunately, right now, because of the YouTube algorithm, the most recent algorithm that they are using, which I don't understand, is causing them to have to not do as many shows. So please go check them out, and then go subscribe to Glove and Boots, because we want to keep them around. Damn the man, save Glove and Boots. Also, if you're a Harry Potter fan, or just a fan of weirdness, please check out the List 25 channel from YouTube. They're one of their most recent shows. The difference between the Harry Potter movies and the Harry Potter books, and the segment that is after that. And if you check out either of those sites, please tell them that you heard about them here on Platinum Rose's Garden, because that would just be cool. So, on that note, or maybe this note, I am going to be heading out of here for another week, and I hope everybody out there has a really nice, safe week coming up. And this is Platinum Rose Lady signing off, reminding you to love the ones you hug the ones you love, and take some time to stop and smell the roses. I'll see you around. Bye.
podcasting's choice. From coast to coast, continent to continent, right here 24/7.